I decided to go to the spring of the Thames.
Finally, it's the second series of Thames Path.
We're going to do it with wall camping. We're going to walk all 200 miles, hopefully.
So if you want to follow me up the river, please hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, or share with your friends because it helps the channel. Morning. Yeah, I'm right on the riverbank. Someone set up a fire pit, and so I thought I probably could camp here. Not heard a single soul, which is crazy because it's 8 o'clock on a Saturday, so I thought I'd hear fisher people or walkers going by. It's a bit, or dog walkers or whatever, and nothing so far. One annoying thing is I lost my sit mat last night. I know I used it on that log in that field where I was, it was really hot and I was feeling like I was getting heat exhaustion. I used it there, but I'm pretty sure I picked it up. And at some point between there and here, I'm not going to go all the way back to try and find it. So yeah, I'm going to get some breakfast, then take the tent down. It's drying wonderfully. Frozen and boiled. 34 degrees currently in the tent. And then it went down to 10 degrees in the night. Wow. It was about 19 here when I got in last night. This is where I am. Yeah, this is the path here. I've not seen anything before. Yet. Dragonflies are here as well. But yeah, I don't know how to get down there to get some water, or more importantly, how to get back up again. I've got enough for breakfast. I don't know where the next water stop would be though. Talking breakfast, I need to get some breakfast. Hopefully there'll be shops in Lechlade. What I've been doing is trying to use all my food, and only getting stuff when I'm like really low, just to save weight. At the start, when I was carrying 3 meals and 4 breakfasts, it killed me. It does mean that for the foreseeable future, unless I find something else, it's pasta. Last night, I was glad I actually did it. I was this close to saying, I just had this packet of crisps and hot chocolate and just go straight to bed. About to head off. It's about 9:30, later than I wanted to be, but not 11 o'clock, so that's good. But I've got everything pretty much packed up. It's just breakfast. That's nice to wake up to and have my coffee too, with the dragonflies. So I have to be out of here before possible rains. That's what I've learned from South Downs Way, and also the end of the Thames Path too. Keep your tent dry as much as possible, especially the inner of your tent. Sunny weather last night, sunny weather today, and it was still cold and damp. It's on this shore, so you can imagine what it's like when it's winter or spring. It's not great. I've been so stressed out about, someone will have a go at me. I haven't really done very much bank camping, but just had to last night. I didn't want the aggro, or even one of those tractors mow me down in the morning without seeing me. That's always a danger with the green tent. I guess a lot of people don't come through here. It is definitely Thames Path. But look, wow, this is really, really overgrown. And quite difficult to open. Wow. And it's not clear. Maybe it's the edge of this field. They've mowed up the path, I think. That's the thing that was making noise last night. Where's the path? That's the bank, so this is the path. He just mowed over it. Okay, fine. Unless it's some kind of crossing I didn't know about. I think it follows the bank at this point. I don't know, I just work here. Yeah, usually you can see the path because of like this. You can see where people have walked. When someone like that mows the field, you can't see where the path is. In London, move 2 seconds and you get a Thames Path sign. Here, no. That's better, to be away from that noise. The guy mowing that field. They were just mowing, not harvesting. Making such a meal of it, because I was doing it until late last night, starting this morning as well. And I was just like, it's just a thing. Every time I want to stop and record, it's either tractors, leaf blowers, mowing, or strimmers, or there's always some constant noise. I've mentioned Stephen, My Life Outdoors, before about the tent testing, but also he did a really good one about silence, about how few places are truly silent because of aircraft
and other things. You get out in the country and you hear chainsaws and agricultural noise. In the city you hear cars. It's very hard to get away from cars even out here. You know, some of the big A roads go all night. They're basically motorways. And this is what YouTubers don't own up to. If you're a hiking YouTuber and you're talking about peace and quiet and tranquility and going to nice spaces and use a drone, you're a hypocrite. You know, bringing something that sounds like a demented beard stroke chainsaw to a tranquil, quiet space, you know, bugging the birds, bugging other people. Yeah, you don't get to do all the aspirational content about peace and quiet when horrible drones following you around. You know, if those things were lovely and quiet, I wouldn't care. Otherwise, don't use them. There's no reason to. Carry a selfie stick. Set up your camera and walk away from it some other way. Any real hiker isn't going to carry the weight of a drone. It's nice when you get a little bit like this. Peace. Blissfully quiet. I mean, it's not quiet. I mean, you hear birds and you hear aircraft, military aircraft, I think. I assume going to RAF Abingdon is still going. But yes, we are getting much more rural now. So that, as I say, doesn't mean you escape the noise. Even some people would argue me talking to this camera now might be disruptive. But I talk to myself anyway, so 18% on my power bank, so really don't want to be checking my map all the time. But also, I want to get to Kemble. I don't want to go down the wrong side of the river as I did yesterday. So I'm a bit kind of averse to doing that. And it turns out there might be a ferry across, but I didn't see much evidence of it at the ferryman. It might just have finished up for the day. So who knows whether I could have got across. That would be a fun GeoWizard type thing. Let's swim across. Yeah, maybe not with a heavy pack. This is more what it's about. But yeah, there should be a plaque here. It's a wooden bridge that hasn't been condemned. Oh, that would be a very noisy place. That would be not a bad place. A camp. There's quite a lot of pesties around here. And also, bits of paper, which are never a good sign. Oh wow. I mean, it's typical. I always the next day I find places and go, oh, actually I could have gone here. Yeah, you could have gone here. I have to flatten some of those. Yeah. Note for the future. Chimney Meadows. Ah, it's an Environment Agency. Temporary closure. Oh no. Oh, what have we got? Thames Path remains open. Okay. Good. Clear. That's the lock. I want to see if there's any water at the lock. Is this chimney lock? Oh no. That's a hide for the regular birds. And that's for the really boisterous ones. It's a shame the hide doesn't have any water. This is Duxford, or just past Duxford. And there's signs about, oh, this Duxford Bridge is not working. It's a 10-foot bridge, but it's a footpath bridge. Obviously another, doesn't affect the Thames Path. So it's stressing me out seeing the signs, because, you know, after my experience of, what was it? I can't remember how many it is. It's 6 or 7 bridges being out. And allegedly there's one at Lechlade that's out as well. Strictly no mooring. I wasn't planning to moor on a pillbox. It's a tadpole bridge I want. Pub on the other side. I'm hoping to get some water from, because I'm literally down to the last dribble of water. Now there's nothing. I couldn't even get to the Sheffield Lock because that bridge is out. I almost walked back, but I spoke to the fisher people and they were like, oh, I've never been here, mate. I'm always interested how I'll come along and go, oh, do you know about this and that? And they'll be like, oh, I've never known about that, and I've lived here all my life. I've lived here for 20, 30 years. And that always amazes me. I understand if you're visiting, you don't know. But I find that locals don't know either. I can fill some water. Well, you can actually get to the Thames. It's all nettles and reeds. There's no access to the river at the moment. Oh, and it's supposed to be chucking it down. This is supposed to be chucking it down. We'll pay for it later. Mark my words, 6 o'clock. It's always 5 or 6 o'clock and it will come down. Not because I'm not going that way. But yeah, that's a 10-foot bridge at Duxford. 0-foot bridge at the moment, although it looks like you can probably jump over the things, but I'm not going that way anyway. I'm boiling in this weather. Yeah, those things have snatched my hats off before now. And probably one of those things that snatched my sit mat away. It's just, yeah. It's interesting, it was like the assault course was mud in March, now it's greenery and a lack of water. Whereas in March it was too much water. There was lots of military around here, but also the Thames had to be protected during World War II. I'm not sure why they're called pillboxes though. I'm sure Wikipedia would tell me. Chimney Meadows. Looks like people have had fires here. Oh, that's very campable. Now, is there accessible water? It's probably not look very nice. Yeah, I don't fancy that at all. I've got no water or power on until allegedly, I just double checked, the Trout Inn is open. I'll be pissed off if I can't get to it somehow or the bridge is closed. This looks like a great clamping place. You've sort of got water over there, you've got to filter it. It looks a bit dodgy. Nearly lost a water bottle in the Thames. Weirdly, well, because it was full of water, it just sank. It didn't sink too far, so I managed to get it. I added some of these as well. Even with filtering, even with a soy filter, I still don't trust this water. It is flowing very slowly, but it's got brown things in it. Maybe it's less than a mile to Tadpole Bridge now, but I was just like, I saw this opportunity and just like, I'll get some water. Amazing that it doesn't seem to be any water from Northmoor Lock to Newbridge, and then from Newbridge, nothing until I assume Tadpole Bridge, and that's obviously dependent on whether those things are open. I'm glad I brought the filter. I always have the treatment tabs, because you never know. No water on this route, apart from pubs, it seems. Whispering Reeds. I love that noise. I've not actually found anywhere near enough to Reeds that actually has a space where you aren't actually in the river. Would be good to camp next to the Reeds and have that as a nice noise, but good luck finding anywhere that's, apart from maybe possibly a fishing spot that isn't incredibly boggy and it's actually flat. Not exactly lunch, because I couldn't afford, I wasn't going to spend sort of 20 quid on a pub meal, but yeah, the Tadpole Inn, I think it is. Yeah, the Tadpole Bridge. I think why they call it Tadpole Bridge. Not sure. Just had a drink and some chips. Still cost me about £7.50. Wow. But the reason for that was actually so I could charge up my battery bank. I can't afford these things, but the thing is you need to be able to be there for a few hours. I've sat there nursing a drink waiting for things to charge. It's easier if you actually have a meal. We'll see, maybe Lechlade tonight or one of the nights. I'm just walking to Radcott. Weirdly, this section is along the road, which I'm not really happy about, but at least I don't have to fight through the nettles and reeds. We have a mixture of like paths that are very well maintained and ones which are like fighting through jungle. It's kind of random. 4 miles to Radcott and then on to Lechlade. Hopefully Lechlade today, less than 10 miles. Another pillbox. They're everywhere. Well, as I say, it was very military around here. I keep bumping into the same barges, like Birraman, Hesperides and White Dove are the ones having their lunch at the Tadpole, and I've seen them, you know, much further down the river, you know, sort of bumped into them along the river. Usually in Scotland it was bumping into other hikers, you'd lap other hikers and they'd lap you, whatever. Here I'm lapping narrowboats. You'd think narrowboats would be faster than me, but they're not, because they're usually going up the river quite slowly to save on fuel, and there's I think a 5 mile an hour limit or something, so they stop and then I go ahead and then they catch up with me in the morning. We found a bench, a very old school bench, and this is Rushy Lock. Very old school lock. You see how small the Thames is here actually. And up that way, between here and Tadpole Bridge, there's a lot of riverbank. Angling stuff doesn't have any signs, but certainly you could very easily go into the woods there, and there seems to be lots of level areas to camp in. So that's my tip for this area, is definitely camping along the river there. I'm going to have my actual lunch now because I couldn't eat it in the pub. I've noticed it's always the men driving, the women having to do the locks or pulling the sheets in the ropes. That's actually the harder job. Crewing is harder than the actual helming. I know, used to sail. It's narrowed so much in just the last day or so. It's a lot smaller river. Redcott Lock. No water though. It's a very pretty lock. Although usually the lockkeepers' cottages are private. They've sold them off years ago. So these places are self-service, as they say. Another bridge that is still going, but I'm surprised they haven't condemned this one. It's falling apart. That's a trend on this trip, isn't it? Broken bridges. It's Redcott Bridge, and also there's a campsite here. Not for me, I don't think. There's a pub. Ooh. They keep following me. No. Yeah, more pillboxes. I'm heading to Kelmscott, which is 3 miles. It looks like Lechlade is maybe 3 miles probably on that. Let's see if I make that tonight, or to get close to it. Probably won't go and visit it because it's eye-watering 15 quid. But Kelmscott Manor is very close by. Maybe we'll see it in the distance. I wonder what William Morris think about the fact that people are paying 15 quid to see his old house. This is Grafton Lock. The wonder of having lock keepers that are locking an ask. Here is the water tap. A scrubby thing as well. So we actually do have water at Grafton Lock, which is good. I almost missed the Thames Path because there was like 2 paths going off. This guy who was sitting outside his mooring. He motioned that I should go that way, and we had a very brief discussion. And I said, oh, yeah, it's really hard because there's quite often damn signs. And he said something along the lines of, oh, well, you just keep the blue stuff on the left and the green stuff on the right. Now, I really wish it was that simple. If anything this series has shown you, I hope, is that it's not that simple. Following the Thames Path, following the Thames, you just follow it, don't you? No. So many broken bridges, diversions, things going wrong, random escapades miles from the Thames later. You know, it's like, no, I really wish it was that simple. Just get the Thames to your left. Well, yeah, it wasn't quite often someone's garden or led to a bridge or a ferry that didn't exist anymore. Yeah. I think that might be Kelmscott. It is Kelmscott Manor. Thursday, Friday and Saturday, 4th October. I just missed it. An odd site. An actual open one. Usually these are closed up. I probably can't get in here. I'm going to squeeze myself. Kilroy was here. That's old. I'm not going to squeeze myself. Through there, but you can see the little. It wasn't, yeah, it was quite thin, I think, to get into these. It was a good wild camping one, but it would be not that warm, probably quite damp, and also don't need to squeeze your stuff in there. There's on just enough space to stand, I think. They look quite big, but they're very, very thick walls, so I don't think there's much in there. It's a well hidden site. Redcott will come from 4.5, and then Lechlade 2 up that way. I don't see any water though. So random. So some of them have water, some don't have water. I wish they would say Up front we have water, we don't have water. You don't know whether to hunt for it or not. So there is a tap, I don't know where it is. I'm just exhausted. It's 7 o'clock. I'm at Buscott Lock and about 2 miles to Lechlade. I'm just resting my feet because I'm just so exhausted. This heat is not helping. This heat is just, you know, brutal with a pack. Fine if you're day hiking or, you know, doing short hiking, but long distance and it's going to get hotter as well. I mean, it's like 22, 23, doesn't sound very much. It's not like 30 degrees. I have hiked in 30 odd degrees heat. Hiking that in 30 degrees plus 35 will just kill me. But yeah, that's the point. That is the reason why it's just like, and also lack of water on this route. I am at another lock which doesn't have a tap. Trying to stay hydrated has been difficult today. You always have the dilemma of, in hotter weather, is that the more water you carry, the more hotter and sweatier you become because you're carrying extra weight. But if you don't carry the water, then you get dehydrated and heat exhaustion. It's like you can't really win. It's like a weird trade-off between the two. And yeah, I'm not happy about the idea. I was talking to a guy on the barges, and we were just discussing, you know, walking and stuff. And he said, "Oh, it's gonna get hotter the next couple of days." I was like, "Oh, really? It's gonna be like mid-20s?" And I was like, "Eek." So I'm probably going to have to do what I did on the Scotland ones, is try and get off as early as possible and get as much walking. Because yeah, that hit sort of 23C, and very much it was about getting up at like 6 or 7, and then walking, and then kind of accepting that the afternoon's a bit of a write-off because of the heat, and then you sort of get a second wind as it cools down later on. But we're getting there. We're 2 miles from Lechlade, so we are getting there slowly. I think I've done at least 10 miles today, if not 15. Well, by the time I get to Lechlade, it'll be a definite 10 miles, and probably more dickish behaviour. Yeah, it's probably in a state. It's been like this for last hour or so, I don't know, a long time. These electric lines, and they could put them, I've seen people, you know, like put them a bit back, but no, they put them right at the edge of where the path is, just to make it difficult. It's not a very nice thing to do. Oh, I didn't mean to take videos of that, but it is very nice. Of all the times for a diversion, this is not one of them. Another bridge out. Oh, so I have to go all the way round. Oh yes, I knew there was a Lechlade bridge, so I did know about this. This is the bridge at Lechlade that's out. Okay. Yeah, no, I did actually know about this. Oh, I forgot. Great. Just delay me even more. Lovely Lechlade. That's definitely not that way. I know beggars can't be choosers, but the alternate route of course does not have the pavement. But first, I think getting to Lechlade and some food. Not hot food, that would be nice. I'm probably too late for that. But yeah, some food shopping. Really confusingly, there's no signs telling me where to go next. You had the alternative Thames Path thing. I had to check the map to find that actually I need to cross the bridge and then rejoin the Thames Path here, I think. I'm hoping. This is it. St John's Lock. So yeah, let's see what... I'm really confused now. Wow. We have a Father Thames. Not John Bacon's, but wasn't expecting another Father Thames. commissioned in 1854 Crystal Palace and marked the head of the Thames at Shrewsbury Mead, where we're going, from 1958. It was moved here in 1974. I wonder why it's moved here. Ah, Monty. So yeah, that was actually at Shrewsbury Head, where Kemble, where we're going. Wow. I don't know why he got a shovel though. Trident is about right. Shovel, let's say. According to the bloke I spoke to on the barge, I chatted to, that's apparently near where the Budgeons is. It's the church at Lechlade. Looking at the spire. Swan's having a wash. This would be ideal, but apart from the fact one thing, when there are people fishing here and stuff, so many insects. The standing water, or they've got, maybe it's animal field. I mean, they've obviously got lots of geese and swans. Very pesty down here. I guess that's Lechlade Bridge, maybe. Not often do the bridges still have the houses attached. How many boats? You haven't got enough boats there. Obviously they do boat hire here. Oh, it's a toll house. This is Lechlade. They have a fish and chip shop that does burger and batter. I'm going now. These walkers are very strange. These Thames Path walkers, they're almost like cows. That's the sunset. I've got some chips. I've got some alcohol. It's Saturday night. All I'm looking for is a venue that doesn't involve gate crashes. Trying to dodge cow crap in the dark is kind of fun. Did you crap everywhere? Is it your fault? Beef burger and batter and chips. There's an irony about eating one of their relatives in a field full of them. I wasn't sure if I was being over dramatic by not wanting to camp in the cow field because they were very much away. And I sat down and there's a bench in the cow field. And guess what happened next? If they come and investigate you having chips, you can imagine what would happen if I was nowhere in the town. I'm trying to scoff this before it gets cold. Lechlade is a bit amberly. They were really not happy with me being there with my big pack on. And settling the locals. Oops, anyway. We'll see if we can find somewhere later. It's going to be a dark, late pitch. Yay! May not be the best seat in the house. Well, there's people in Lechlade aren't getting a view like this. Even though I'm worried about finding somewhere to sleep tonight. I've had my chips, I'm having my chips, I'm still eating them. Unfortunately I got a large chips, which is a very bad thing to do. I don't want to feed that cow with some chips that are left over, but I'm going to have to. I don't want to encourage their behaviour in hijacking people on that bench. It feels like it's within the shout the next couple of days. That's what it feels like. But we'll see. When I get eaten by a cow. Inglesham, via the church, which is kind of over there. In which you can't really see anything. Because it's dark. I can sort of see the spire. And I think I'm following the right path. Keeping going until we've got a non-cowpat field. Can't see anything, but it looks nice. Thames Path? Thames Path. I was right. Yes, you guessed it, more cow fields. Flip's sake. It's nearly midnight and the tent's up. This random wood that appeared after many cow fields. Just went, oh, that'll do. It's not great, it's on a slant. Very much dead wood. I don't know how visible I am. And also sounds like someone's having a house party around the corner. But I can hear that from miles, so it must be very loud. It was not a good night. I was walking until about 11:30. Ouch. Right past Inglesham. And it's just... I'm just going to go straight to bed. Luckily I haven't eaten because of the fish and chips.
That was day 5 of the second series of Thames Path. We travelled an amazing 17.5 miles and a total of 63.3 miles. We travelled from a field near Newbridge via Lechlade onto a wood near Inglesham private airstrip. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please press the like button and click that subscribe button. We're now monetized, yay! But we still need your help to grow the channel. On screen now is the next day when it's available. If not, it'll be the previous day in this series. I hope you're well, and I'll speak to you soon.